Hi everybody. I came on because I want to work on my January tin challenge, and it's getting late in January and I haven't gotten it done. One of the things I told you is that the first thing you needed to do was to sand your tin. Now, the only reason that you have to do that is to make sure that everything sticks to it. You do not have to cover everything up. It's just a matter of sanding it enough so that stuff will stick to it. And see, it's not even, I haven't even sanded the letters off, but I've just scratched the surface just a little bit so that it will stick. So then if it depends on what you're going to do with it. I'm going to paint mine and do some other things to it. So I want to put a little gesso on it. This bottle does not want to open. Nor does it want to come out. I wanted to use this particular gesso because it's a little thicker than the other one I have. And ooh, I'd say I have enough gesso. So I'm just gonna smear it around good. Getting it on the edges. I am not going to do the inside of the box. I'm going to cover the inside of the box with paper, so I'm just going to gesso it real well on the outside. Now, needless to say, where the lid comes to, it'll probably scratch the paint off, and I'm not worrying about that. I'm just going to do the best I can. I'll see if I can hold it this way. Okay. Needed to make sure I was still in frame. And I'm not worried about a super smooth coat or anything. I'm just trying to cover it all up. The gesso will help other things to stick too, so. There we go. All right. That's it for now. I've got to let this dry, and then I'll be back to do the next step. This is going to be a little bit of a choppy video if I leave it for you guys to see everything. So thanks for putting up with that. Okay, so the lid to my, well, not the lid, but the paint that I put on, or the gesso that I put on my box, which made it feel very scratchy, is dry. And this Altoids box has a raised lid. The metal is actually raised. So this is the only texture paste I really have, or modeling paste I have. So I'm going to try it, and I want to try to smooth out that raised area so that it doesn't look quite so much like it says Altoids. This is some Brea Reese stuff that I got on clearance at Hobby Lobby, and I have not used it yet, so we'll find out how well it works. It is thick. And I'm guessing that it might take a couple of applications. The other thing is that it's probably going to take a bit to get it dry. So needless to say, my project may or may not get done in January. So I issued the challenge and I might not finish. How about that? Oh well. What I'm trying to do is just make sure that everything is filled in. Well, it looks about as good as it's going to get for this layer. So it actually is not very smooth. I need to maybe be a little more gentle. Okay. So we're going to have to let it dry. And I have no idea how long that's going to take. And I'll be back. Hello again. I did have to put a second coat on this box of the texture paste. And now I'm going to see about getting it painted. I'm just painting it white for the moment. And I'm going to use this just basics. It's just a student grade type paint, acrylic paint. I just wanted something a little heavier than craft paint so that hopefully it will cover in less coats is the plan. And I'm not worried terribly. I'm gonna put a napkin as a decoration over the top of this, so I'm not worried horribly about the paint job, but I do want to cover up any of the writing and stuff that's on here. And obviously the edge that goes inside the box is not going to hold the paint, so I'm not worrying about it. I'm just trying to cover it up. My beautiful silver texture paste, and here I am covering it up. But that's the way it is. Sorry about my phone. Okay, so once again, I've got to let it dry, and I'll be back. This is a long project just because I wanted to get paint on this box. So, okay, see you later. Okay, my tin is finally dry. It's pretty much level on the top. It's been painted. I painted it because I knew I wanted to put a napkin over it, and I didn't want I wanted it to show as close to the napkin as possible. So now I have taken a napkin and I've peeled off the excess layers, and now I need to decide how much of this I'm going to use. And this is a water brush, guys. It's just got water in it. You can use it for water painting, watercolors or that kind of thing. I just keep it filled with water to take napkins apart, really. By putting water along an edge, the napkin will just separate very nicely. And I'm just giving myself a nice big chunk because I don't want to take a chance and not have enough to go across my lid. I'm going to put this aside for right now. And I'm just going to be working on the lid right now and down the edges right here for right this minute. And I am going to use some Mod Podge. And my brush is kind of big, but I think it'll be all right. Make sure I'm staying in frame. Come on, just open back up. The layers of paint have made it a little harder to open and close, and I'm not worried about that because after, when I finish, if I have to, I can always sand that down a little bit. And I am painting this basically I'm painting the Mod Podge on there. Can you? Okay. I zoomed it in a little bit so that you could see better, and I always worry that I'm going to fall off the where you can't see me. Uh-oh. Something. I picked up something off my table or off my brush. I don't know which. Now, napkin is real thin, so you can kind of roll it around the edge. And I am not worried if it buckles a little bit because, frankly, I like the texture. Now, if you didn't like the texture, you might want to use tissue paper instead of napkin because napkins are real fragile. Okay. And now we're going to go back over it, really soaking the napkin. And I'm putting down quite a bit of the Mod Podge. I use a matte Mod Podge, and I have added some Elmer's glue all to it. One of my lovely online friends found out that if you add the Elmer's glue, it is not so sticky. I mean, it sticks, but it doesn't adhere itself to the pages behind it or in front of it. Now, once you do that part, you'll just go around and pull the napkin off. Can you see? Yeah. This does make your, and I just tore it right there because my fingers were sticky. I suppose you could go back in later and cut that loose, but I want to continue and I want to finish up the edge a little bit. So I'm going to go around the edge with the Mod Podge again. I did the lid quite well, but I didn't do the edge very well. Okay. It does get all over your fingers. And I'm going to do the bottom of the tin as well, and the sides. And I think I'm going to try to choose the same I'm going to give myself a little more room because I have the side walls of the tin. Oh, okay. My brush may be out of water. There it comes. Okay. Now, I know that if I get this too far up, I may have to sand it back off, but that's okay. See, right here where the lid closes over the top of the side, it doesn't have a lot of room. And it can be made to work. It just, I'm not going to try to get it all the way down there. And I'm not aiming for perfection on the sides because if I have to, I'll put paint on the side, see, a little bit to just add to everything. Okay. Okay, now we want to just gently take this off. It'd be better if I did it down here, yeah. I'm just using my knife to help me with that, just to keep my fingers from getting quite so sticky. It doesn't really cut, it just tears. I'm sorry, did I pull it off frame? I'm sorry. Okay. Now remember, once you've pulled that a little bit off of there, you want to go back with your Mod Podge and just make sure that all your little edges are laid down. Okay. Now I'm going to set this aside and let it dry. And we're going to work on another part of the project here for just a minute. Okay, so what I have here is another napkin that's just like the first one, and a sheet of reasonably heavy cardstock. I'm just going to take this napkin off here because I can't get it all on the cardstock. I need some of this napkin for a little cover for the little book that's going to go inside my tin. But I also want some heavier cardstock weight pieces to help to decorate the top. So right now, while I'm Mod Podging the napkins, I'm going to do this napkin onto this cardstock and create sort of a nice weight cover and something I can cut up for embellishments. And I'm just covering the whole thing right now, kind of sloppily, but and if you've ever tried to put a napkin onto a piece of cardstock, it never goes down real smooth with Mod Podge, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. There are other ways to adhere napkins to cardstock. Oops. Come on now. There we go. And there's some wrinkles in it. I'm not worried about it. You do want to go over the top of it real well, just like you did on your box. And just so you know, guys, this is the way I do things. There's lots of people out there altering tins and making absolutely beautiful altered tins. My way is my way. It's not the only way to do something. So if this does not look like it's fun to you, don't stop from altering a tin. Or having fun with this, with mixed media, just because this doesn't appeal to you. There's lots and lots and lots of artists out there doing some really fun things and altering tins and doing mixed media, and so to make sure you continue to have fun with it. That's the big thing. Okay, so that's all for right this minute, because we have to let everything dry again. It's always the case. Gotta let it dry. So I'll be back in a little while when things are all dried up, and we'll continue. Well, if you can't tell, my altered tin has not gotten finished in the manner that it should have. So we're going to try to finish this up today. I have a few little things I want to add. Oh shoot. I wanted a couple of tiny little gold brads, I think. I'm just going to use them to make flower centers. Yeah, that'll be real cute. Okay. Alright, well, I have this trim, and I want to put this trim around the edge of the box here. I'm just going to put it on the very edge of the lid, right here, all the way around. And I decided I'm going to do that with tacky glue. So for the person issuing the challenge not getting done for several months with her challenge, that does not bode very well. But most of the time, art happens as it happens. You just cannot make it happen if it's not going to. And sometimes life just gets in the way. I always get it done eventually. Alrighty. One of the nice things about tacky glue is you don't have to rush, so. And I'm just going to put it on right around the little edge. And I'm going to let it overlap just a tiny little bit. little dab of tacky glue. I really need to get a new bottle of tacky glue, I think. Okay. Now then, that'll be drying while I finish up the rest. And I want to put a couple of these little flowers on. And like I said, I'm just using the brad sort of as a little center in the flower. Just something to decorate the little flower with. One of the things about this challenge was that things had to dry, and unfortunately then they got set aside, and when things get set aside, obviously I don't get them done. So, but it'll be done, I think, today. We'll hope. And then I have some cute little butterflies. They're just bitty little gold butterflies to go on here. I just used a die and cut them out of glitter paper. Okay. And the box is done, but I want to make a little book. Well, I should say the outside of the box is done. I'm going to work on my little book. Let's set this aside. And I cut paper out that is 4 inches by 3 1/4 inches, and I rounded the corners, and now I'm going to just fold them all in half. Okay, and then I did a napkin decoupage thing on a piece of cardstock so that I would have it to use for my little book. And I need to make this 4 1/4 by about 3 3/8. And I want to get this little bird so it's on the cover, and to do that I'm going to need to trim it in a little bit of an odd way. So I need to take a little bit of it off where the cardstock shows. Okay. Now, like I said, it needs to be about 4 1/4 across this way. and 3 3/8. And then we're going to round the corners. Fold it in half. Oh my, the little bird is barely on there. He's on there, but just barely. Okay, and now I have my little pages that can go in. And now before I sew it together, I'm going to make sure it fits in the box. We do not want to have that issue. I'm just trying to be careful because the glue's not dry yet. Aha, see, we have to round all of the corners on the cover, I'm afraid. Well, it's not going to that way. We're going to have to cut it. Okay. Now it will fit. Okay, that's going to fit. So I'm going to just poke it one time in the center, and then I'm going to wrap the threads around the end so that I don't have to poke it so close together. I wonder if I can do this without a needle. Okay. I'm just making sure it's pulled tight. I think we want to decorate the little book about the same way that we decorated the... Okay, now, come on now, just stay closed. think I want to just sort of make the little book mirror the box. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Now, I didn't like how the inside of my little box is looking. Frankly, I think it looks a little kind of rough in there. So, what I want to do, and I think I will use these pieces. Let's see here. I don't want to use the same little bird over and over and over again, so I'm going to use some of these other pieces. Here I'm going to just use like that piece, and then I think I'll use, this is too short, so I'll have to go this way, but that's okay, I can do that. And I'm just going to draw around this. Okay. Okay, good. All right. They're both, it's a little big, and that's perfect because then I can use it as a template to draw around on this one. These bigger scissors, though, it'll make it easier to cut. Okay. Okay. Now this is going to take a minute or two to get it in there because you want to do it a little at a time and don't over trim. Okay. Okay. Let's try this. Okay. It's almost perfect. That may have been just a touch too much. Oh well, it will be fine. It is perfectly fine. There we go. So we're going to put that in with some tacky glue. I think this is going to end up being kind of a long video. Okay. Now I'm going to put this one in the bottom. So. Okay. Same problem, it's still a little big. Oh, that just went right in there. It's all hunky-dory. Since the napkin has curled the cardstock a little bit, that's not wanting to stay in perfectly, but it will by the time the glue dries. These two pieces aren't exactly the same, but that's okay to me. I'm happy with that. Now, I don't like the side, so I'm just going to take a piece of the paper I used for the inside of my little book. It's just a cream colored copy paper. That should be enough. And I need, how much do I need? Come on now. 5/8 of an inch, if I'm correct. That's going to be hard to see to measure, but I think we can do it. That's going to be right there. Okay. We have another piece in case it didn't work. Okay, very nice. And yes, that's going to be perfect, see? So, we will put some tacky glue. Let's get out a different bottle of tacky glue. This one's making me irritable. I think I have another one that's open. Yes, I do. And we need a nice run of glue around the edges, both the top and the bottom. Don't get glue in your hinges if you can avoid it. It will make it difficult to open and close. There we go. And I'm just going to put it in. And push it against the wall. And we have our little decorated box now. And our little book that goes into our decorated box. And it's all finished. So, about the 3rd week of March, and my January challenge is finished. Oh, yeah, I had one of my little doodads stuck inside. No wonder it closed hard. Come out. There we go. There. Now that came out very cute. I'm very pleased with that. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let's find a quote from our 1001 Ways to Creativity. This is the book I read from. Be honest with yourself about when and where you are most creative, and make that time and space sacred. Okay, guys. Now that I have finally finished my January challenge, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.